What up, Fit Fam? Welcome to another episode of Fit Walk with Coach Kails. Today we're going to go over 3 things that I had to realize before I started actually seeing progress in the gym. So hopefully this can connect to you too. Walk with me. All right, first topic out of 3. Form is more important than the weight. Here's the deal. You cannot go heavier if you have bad form. Point blank, period. 1, you're going to get hurt. 2, you're not even going to reap the benefits of it. When I first started out, I thought that I just needed to lift as heavy as possible. And I was also this high school girl trying to get into college. And I was like, I need to be strong, so I need to lift heavy. And I ended up kind of hurting my back, or like, I didn't really know what I was doing, you know? Or like, honestly, at that time, it wasn't that heavy because my form wasn't even good enough to allow me to go that heavy. But like, to me, it was heavier than I should have been lifting. And instead, and what I've really been focusing on now is honestly going back to the basics. And I do a lot of stuff, even body weight, or like I go a lot lighter than I should. Like on my deadlifts, I've been deadlifting 45 plates on either side when my max is 3 plates on either side. So like, I've just been slowing it down. There's so many other things you can do. You can focus on tempo to make it a lot harder. Like going slow down, pausing, come back up to the top, like for a squat. Oh, that could kill your legs, okay? So that's just one thing. Just really focus on your form before you even start adding on weight. Both are definitely important, and you definitely want to continue to add weight as you grow. But I think a lot of people skip a lot of the small stuff that come with just focusing on form. Another little thing that I like to tell people is you have to find your mind-body connection. So a great little drill to do is you could do 5 squats, just body weight squats, but take 5 body weight squats, okay? First one, just go down, take your squat. Second one, go ahead and go down, only feel your quads. Next one, go down, only feel your core. Next one, go down, only focus on your hamstrings. Last one, only focus on your glutes. See if you can get your mind to start activating different muscles. You're using all of them every single squat, but try to see if you can pull out like mainly one muscle group every single time. This will help you start connecting with your body better, and over time, it'll help you with all of your lifts. But that's definitely a good challenge. So form over weights. We will get to another episode on why weight's important too, but form over weight. And some of you may be asking, how do I know if I have good form? Well, work with a personal trainer. Or if there's a personal trainer walking around your gym, if I'm not with a client and you pull me aside and you go, hey, can you check my squat form really fast? Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I would rather look around the gym and see people having good form and ask, or if they don't, whatever, than to see someone with really bad form and knowing they're going to hurt themselves. Like, it hurts me watching people sometimes where I'm like, just ask for help. Or sometimes we'll try to go up to people. This is a whole different story. Especially if you're a dude, listen to women, because sometimes we actually know what we're talking about. If I see you deadlifting with your back hunched over like this and I know you're going to be hurt and I try to come up and give you a little help just because I know you're going to hurt your back, don't just shot me off because I'm a woman, okay? That's a story for another time. But just saying, it's not bad to ask for help. Please ask for help before you get hurt. I wish that's something that I would have done. And then another thing is I post videos all the time talking through different forms or different things that you should think of. So you can always go through my videos, look at that. I like to do the voiceovers. You could Google it. There's so many things on YouTube. Or honestly, if you want to DM me a video of you doing a squat or whatever the form is, I'm more than happy to respond and be like, hey, like give you some pointers and be like, yeah, that's good. So point, please ask. Second thing I had to get down before I found results in the gym, find something that holds you accountable. So sometimes that might be your why, and that's great. You can think about your why all the time, but you're going to have some really strong, or need some really strong discipline if that's going to be your accountability. Sometimes it's a friend. So maybe you have a friend that you go to the gym with, but I would also be careful because if one of you is like, oh, I don't want to go today, make sure the other person is like, no, we're going. Like, you guys have to work together to be like, this is what we're doing. So don't let each other fall off on that. Third thing to hold yourself accountable, it could be your husband, your boyfriend, whoever, someone who cares about you, your mom, like maybe someone that you just text, like they don't have to go with you, but you just check in with them and you're like, hey, this is what I did for my workout, yada, yada, yada. Like if any of my friends are like, hey, can you just keep me accountable? Can I just text you my workout summaries? I'd be like, I'm ecstatic. Like I have a friend, she sends me like actually we track each other on our Apple Watches just so I can see that she works out. And if she doesn't, she texts me. But it's just something to keep yourself accountable. For me, honestly, it's posting on my Instagram stories. And when I first started, if you were friends with me in high school and you always saw when I went to the gym and I said rise and grind and I put it at 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, whatever. Honestly, I understand it probably got annoying. I don't care. For me, that was my validation of being like, oh, I'm here, I'm clocked in. And it was also kind of bad because I know people don't really care, but like I was in my head and I was like, oh my gosh, if I don't post, people are going to think I didn't go. I still kind of struggle with that sometimes. But point being, that was my way of validating like, I'm here, I'm doing this. So use your social media. Do what you got to do. But anyways, find something that will hold you accountable because you yourself, yeah, you can hold yourself accountable, have good discipline, but having someone else in the mix to help you it's amazing. Or even I have clients that they have a personal trainer just because they're like, you know what? I need that person to hold me accountable. I'm on my clients' butts. Trust me, they are in the gym. So hold yourself accountable. Last one, and you may not like this, but 80% of progress is outside of the gym. I figured this out honestly the hard way. I was doing 3 a days. Sometimes like add 2 overuse injuries. If I could go back in time, I would. Maybe not. It's a smaller story for a different time. But point being, sometimes less is more. But the focus outside of the gym, you have to be eating correctly. And for me, when I was working out 3 times a day, I wasn't seeing the results I wanted because I wasn't eating enough. That many workouts, can you imagine how much food and protein I need? I was a broke little freshman, sophomore in college. I didn't have the money to buy that much food. I was not eating as much as I should have. Anyways, the point being, you need to have discipline outside of the gym. So it's going to be diet. It's sleep. Do you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep? Maybe you have a kid. Maybe it's not feasible for you, but find a time where you can nap during the day. Like make up those hours. It doesn't have to be 8 hours at night. There has been studies, just as long as you're getting those 8 hours, prime. And if maybe you're one of those people where you're like, I only need 5 hours of sleep. That's great that you think you need 5, but trust me, your body would love to have more. Another thing, hydration. How much water do you have? Water is so important. It makes up so much of our body. Why aren't you drinking it? But that's another thing that we got to think about. And then another one that you want to, like, nutrition in general. Are you eating your veggies? You do need some carbs. Maybe don't overload it. Maybe don't have all the greasy French fries, all of that, but have potatoes. Cook them. Like, find recipes that help you. But yeah, I will just say this point blank. You can work as hard as you want in the gym, but if your lifestyle outside of the gym does not line up, you're not going to see progress. And maybe it's you go to the gym 1 hour a day and you sit around the rest of the day. Like try to hit 10K steps a day minimum. So do what you can to get there. But those are just some things that helped me. I really didn't see progress until I started lining up those 3. It's now question time. So at the end of each episode, I'm now going to start answering around 3 questions. Today, our first question is, how do I know when I'm supposed to up my weights? So this kind of does connect to our very first point that we even talked about in this podcast, but you need to know that you have good form first and foremost before you ever go up in weights. Secondly, one thing that I kind of use as a rule for myself is I'll start at a weight. Let's say I do 12 reps with, let's say I'm doing squats. I'm doing goblet squats, right? So I'm holding 1 dumbbell. And let's say I start out, I'm holding a 20-pound dumbbell and I can get 12 reps. Now I'm going to up my weight. So let's say I go to a 25. Let's say I can only get consistently like 6 reps in. Now I'm going to keep working with that 25 until I can get 8 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps with good form. So you want to make sure your form stays like just like that. Then we bump to 30. We're back to 6 reps. And then you keep working through. Now I'm at 8 reps. Now I'm at 10 reps. Now I'm at 12 reps. And then just kind of keep playing it from there. But yeah, overall, as long as your form stays good, you can keep going up in weights. And you are going to have to challenge yourself a little bit. Or another way that you can go about it is if you do have good form, go for a max. So let's say when I maxed out on my deadlifts, I maxed out at 315. I didn't have the best form, which is why it's but you can still base your workouts off that. And then I was training at 70% of that. So that is a thing you could do. You could go for your max, but I would only do that option if you have someone else with you that knows what they're doing in fitness. Even you yourself, like I would just have someone with you to hold you accountable, especially if you're squatting, have someone that's spotting you and stuff. But so that's just a way that you can up your weights. Hope that helps. Next question. This one's for the moms. How do I get my workouts in? So this can range from, every mom's life is going to be different. Like if you're a stay-at-home mom, you probably have a little more flexibility to get a workout in your schedule than a mom that's working. But this can just go hand in hand in general with kind of anyone, but especially for the moms. Let's say you have a 2-year-old, because I'm thinking about my sister with my niece. So let's say, just first of all, carrying that 2-year-old, that's a workout in itself. Carrying in the groceries, that's a workout in itself. So count the little things. Don't count yourself out. You are strong. But honestly, at that point, if you're on a really tight schedule, I would just try to focus on doing 30 minutes, even twice a week is going to do something different. And then the other days, make sure you're getting enough steps in. So if you are really, really, really crunched on time, like you're like, I'm not getting up earlier to work out, I'm not going at night, I'm not doing this, like you just no way you can fit in your schedule. Which I do have a slight disagreement, because I just feel like there's so much time in the day, but I'm also not a mom, so I'm not going to talk on that too much. But I'm just saying 30 minutes of strength training at least twice a week should be good. But outside of it, like take your kid on a walk, or like when you go to the park with your kid, make sure you're playing with your kid, stuff like that. But also as a mom, especially like after giving birth, pelvic floor workouts. So making sure your core is nice and strong again. Really want to make sure we have strong hips. Like doctors have said, if they were to go and do like MRIs of a bunch of women, most of us probably have labral tears. So make sure your hip mobility is good. Make sure it's flexible. So do stretching, all of the above. But really, really focus on that. And then slowly try to add a little more into your schedule. But I would honestly start with at least something is better than nothing. And I would just like to add on, there are so many good like at-home options. You can look up videos on Instagram and people will work out for like 30 minutes and they'll do the whole thing with you. Or maybe you do group fitness classes, or I know at the club I work at, Lifetime, we have a kids club. So you can come drop your kid off and work out. So that could be an option as well, finding a gym that has childcare. Yeah, stuff like that. Maybe make your kid work out with you. Just kidding. I don't know how well that would go, but just those are just different ideas as well. Last question for today. How do I balance fun and health? This is my favorite topic because y'all know I'm a 25-year-old, okay? I like to have fun. I like to go and do some, like, whatever. I like to drink. I like to XYZ. Well, right now I'm doing 75 hard, so that's a different story. But I'm just saying in general, you need a balance. And this is also why I talk about lifestyle changes. I never talk about a diet or being strict on something, because you have to let yourself live. So I live by an 80-20 rule. 80% of my life, I'm in the gym, I'm drinking water, I am sleeping, etc. 20%, I'm having fun. I'm going on vacations. I am not worrying about what I'm eating for a day. Like, just, if I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. Obviously, I'm going to try to eat salads and eat some protein, eat some healthy meals, but if I'm on a margarita and I'm on the beach, I'm drinking a margarita on the beach. Yeah, maybe I'll try to limit it and maybe get some skinny margs and stuff here and there. That's also another great option. So look at what you're drinking. Make sure there's not too much sugar in it. Honestly, most of the time you get cocktails, there is so much sugar. So maybe you try to find ways that you like sparkling water, kind of mixed in with alcohol, if you do like the strong drinks like that. But I do think it's very important to mix it in. It's very unrealistic just to cut it all out. And honestly, like, you want to have a social life. You want to be able to go have fun. You want to be able to go do things, even if it's not just drinking. Like, if you want to go to the Super Bowls this weekend, like Super Bowl parties, there's going to be tater tots and French fries and all buffalo chicken dip, like XYZ. But just let yourself live a little bit, but just make sure it's that 20%. Make sure that other 80% is still you focused and you balanced. So don't just let yourself go too crazy with the 20%. Try to kind of reel it in, and those are just kind of special occasions. But definitely make sure you mix it in, and don't get down on yourself. Let's say you do have 3 marks. Like, don't beat yourself up. Or you had a slice of cake. That's okay. The next day, get back on track. Make sure you're eating healthy. Just don't make a habit of it. Keep it that 20%. But yeah, that is the end of today's podcast. Hopefully you learned a little bit or a lot of it. If you have any questions that you want me to answer at the end of the next episode, please go ahead and DM me, drop them in the comments.